interested, today we're going to be having a look at something that's just arrived in the post today. It's a very exciting release. It is another Doctor Who animated addition to my collection. I don't think I've really talked about the animations recently, apart from the Faceless ones, where I sort of unboxed it and gave a sort of review of it, which is actually something I'm planning to do. I'm planning to get a review of the Fury from the Deep out, actually. I think it might be nice to review that, as it's sort of a new story in my eyes, because it's been missing for so long, but I've never actually seen it. So it's nice to say that I now have Doctor Who Fury from the Deep in the collection. It's just arrived, so we're going to have a quick look and unbox it, and maybe later on in a separate video I might actually review this story, because I've heard a lot of things about how it's one of the scariest Doctor Who stories of all time, and also I want to comment on the animation quality when I've actually seen it, because what I saw in the trailer I wasn't particularly keen on, I think. So I want to make sure I give a fair chance, so I'm going to actually watch it and then do a proper review for the story. But for today, we're going to be focusing on the Steelbook itself. So here is the Steelbook out of its packaging, as well, out of its cellophane. It's in its cardboard digibox with that 12 logo, which I spent a lot of time rambling about in the Series 6 Steelbook review, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here, because you all know my opinions on this. This Steelbook, I think, the new Doctor Who logo, actually, probably, I think, out of all of them, probably works the most on this release, I think, actually. And I think the Fury from the Deep logo, the actual sort of font they've used here, is much nicer than the one they used for the Faceless ones. And I think this Steelbook is just generally nicer than the Faceless one Steelbook, to be honest. It is a 3-disc set. You can sort of see the tendrils here on the J card here on the spine. You've got the 12 there, and on that side as well. Then moving on to the back, you have the artwork from the back of the Steelbook, which is sort of them just watching the TARDIS be consumed by tentacles. You've also got a sort of nice bio on the story, which you can pause there if you want to read. It's sort of a basic example of what the story's about, and talk about the animation reconstruction and stuff as well. You've got a list of the special features, which is obviously sort of the colour animation, the black and white animation, audio commentaries, that sort of stuff, as well as the trailers and sort of Ivan footage and all that kind of stuff. You've also got loads of credits there, so you've got the writer, the director, the cast, I think. Yeah, it's actually not a John Pertwee story, it's a Patrick Troughton story. I'm going to say, there aren't any John Pertwee stories that are missing, I believe, so I don't know why we'd be having a missing animation reconstruction of that. But there's the back artwork for the Steelbook there, sort of continued. I think that actually looks quite nice there. Sometimes it just looks a bit odd in the corner there, but it's really worked. I love how they sort of added the tentacles sort of crawling over the special features guide there as well. Taking it out, we are greeted by the clean artwork for the Steelbook there. You've got the tendrils on the side there, and you've got the TARDIS being consumed by these tendrils, and sort of some weird foam, soapy foam there. You've got the lovely oil rig. I think they are oil rigs, I think. I don't know. They look like oil rigs. So you've also got this. I thought this looks really nice on the Steelbook, with the way that the rain goes in when you light it up a bit. And as well, the lamp, if you put it in the light, it sort of looks like the lamp is glowing, and you can sort of see little specks of rain in the light when you sort of glisten it there as well. You've got the nice sort of the TARDIS that we've finally gotten from B&M, with a lovely new roof thing that I think works really nice there. Then on the back, on the spine, we've got the Doctor Who logo, the BBC logo, that lovely Fury from the Deep logo, as well as that sand and ocean design continued there. Also, and then here we have Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor, Jamie McCrimmon, played by Fraser Hines, and Deborah Watling as Victoria there. You've got lovely, and they're sort of, if you open it up, you can see that there, you can open it up, yeah, there you go. You can see the full design, and they're sort of looking on at the TARDIS and just doing nothing, but watching it be consumed entirely, as well as all this chaos in the sea over there with that lovely sort of plane, I think, or helicopter, not a plane, honestly. And you've got the sort of lovely rain droplet design continue there, as well as a bit of sort of splashes of water reflecting in the light there as well. I think, like, it's a really nice Steelbook artwork. I still think my favourite of the animated Steelbook artworks that they've done so far is probably actually the Macroterra one. I think the Macroterra is probably my favourite animation of the series that they've done so far, full stop. But this artwork, I think, is much nicer. I think there was something quite lackluster maybe about the Faceless ones on, but I think it looks a lot nicer. I still think it's a very nice Steelbook, but I think it's probably the most lackluster one. Also on the sides, you've also got sort of bits of sea. You can see their legs continued as well, and spines, and on the top as well you've got the rain too. Opening it up, you are greeted with a lovely advertisement for Time Lord Victorious, which has a list of things on the back of products that you can get. You've got the comic, you've got the books, you've got the Big Finish audios, The vinyl with a very nice sort of cover there. And you've got the lovely sort of Igor Moss collection things. I know I did that video about Time Lord Victorious. I have actually bought a couple of things for Time Lord Victorious, which I'm sure I will get to in a video at some point about Time Lord Victorious. But I haven't really talked about it since because there have been so many announcements. It's kind of hard to keep up with it. But I think we'll be able to finally talk about the stuff when when the stuff that I have got arrives as well, which isn't that much, I will admit, because I've actually paid for something that's sort of major in the Time Lord Victorious thing. So I haven't spent that much on Time Lord Victorious, admittedly, because it's sort of a bit expensive, and I'm not already into Big Finish and stuff. But yeah, it's exciting. I won't deny it's exciting. And there's the new Dalek series which has been announced through the YouTube channel, which I think is exciting. But yeah, sort of brief moment talking about Time Lord Victorious there. We also have the lovely booklet. I love these booklets. They sort of put so much effort into these booklets. It makes me wonder why they don't with the series box sets, because these are all really lovely. And you got this artwork for the standard edition. It has to be said, I've always been kind of disappointed by the artwork that they put on the standard edition, hence why I upgraded to getting Steelbooks. I think that was the original reason why I got my first Steelbook, which was the Macra Terror one. I just thought the design on the Macra Terror Steelbook like standard edition just looks so dull. But here I think it actually works really nice. I don't think it works with the grey borderline. It sort of looks a bit, I think they started cropping where I noticed it first on the Power of the Daleks special edition. They sort of cropped off half the Dalek's eye, and they just sort of crop off half of Patrick Troughton's head. Well, not literally, but his hair. So it just looks a bit cropped and not very. I like it when the design sort of flows over the edge, I mean, I don't know if everyone else does, but I mean, I do. So I think that's a nicer design that they've done for these standard edition things, because it's quite dynamic. I like the sort of tentacles coming up from the side there, and obviously the tentacles in the back there. Got the lovely Fury from the Deep logo looking even nicer in that lovely sort of seaweed green there. Opening up, we are introduced with an introduction and sort of very nice shot of the team there. And you've got Patrick Troughton looking very worried there. I think these still photographs, the animation in still photographs looks really nice. But then it looks a bit, I don't know, when I saw the trailer, it was kind of a bit like the animation looks a bit sort of, I don't know, sort of like less fluid than normal, I don't know. Or maybe less in sync with the audio, but I have to watch the actual story to really make a full judgment. Here we have production notes, and we've got some lovely still photos from the actual episode, which is sort of rare, given that it is missing. But I like this sort of picture with him in the bobble hat and the sort of the life jacket there as well, by the pipes as well. Nice picture there. Some more pictures of the animation. That one looks very 3D for some reason. You've got Victoria screaming. You've got someone who looks like they're possessed by the creature in this episode, and you've got Victoria looking very sort of thoughtful, sort of concerned, I think. Probably because this is her last story, I believe. She sort of goes through the motions in this one. She has a lot of... she goes a lot through this one, I think, because she wants to leave at the end, I presume. It's sort of very X-Files looking shot of a torchlight there in the tunnels. What else? And then we've got the disc contents, and you've got the lovely pictures of the documentary, which I believe is the Cruel Sea documentary by Chris Chapman, that he's been posting loads of pictures of on his Twitter account. And then on the back you have the lovely, I love that they do this, because you've got the full cast credits, you've got the director's credits, the writers, and so on. You've got Big Finish for some reason. Executive producers for Big Finish Creative. I wonder what they did. And then of course you've got the ratings, and you've got the ratings for each episode, which are, you start with 8.2 and 5.9. I think that's quite funny, really. But never mind. I mean, these are long stories, so it would be hard to... I mean, I don't know. I didn't really know how the ratings really worked then, so I can't really comment, but it's just sort of funny that. Anyway, you got listings of episode dates, originally transmission, final transmission, and so on. I think it's quite a nice little inclusion. Opening up the Steelbook once again, and we have the discs in the wrong order. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily the wrong order or just sort of the order I don't like them in. But yeah, as you can see, disc 3 is first, which kind of annoys me, and then disc 1 is here, and disc 2. I don't know, most people probably don't think that's annoying, it's probably just me. But yeah, you can see once again we've got the same artwork on each disc, which is fair enough. I mean, to be fair, it's not exactly like a collection release, so I'm kind of just happy that we're getting this release at all. And I mean, like, it's never going to be perfect, so I'm just sort of happy that it's a nice design anyway, so it kind of works. I mean, maybe it would have been nice if you had Patrick Troughton on one disc, sort of Jamie on the other, and then, I don't know, Victoria on another as well. But, I mean, you win some, you lose some. I guess, I don't know, it's just cheaper to use the same artwork, I suppose, so at least they're making some savings in order that we can actually get these sets. So yeah, on the disc 1 you got the episodes 1 to 6 in black and white, by the way, by the looks of it. I'm guessing the colour one is in disc 2, and all the special features are on here, including the episode reconstruction by I presume Loose Cannon, I'm not sure. You also got the slide audio drama, I don't know what that is about, I'll have a look at that. And then you got a visual effects interview with Peter Day, interview with Victor Pemberton, who I think wrote it, and then you got loads of PDFs and stuff. Opening it up, we are greeted with this lovely image of these two characters who I don't know anything about, but I know that they're in this clip that it sort of survived because it was sort of deemed too, I don't know, scary in Australia or something, and so they had to cut it, but because they have to cut it, they have to retain the actual footage, which is somewhat ironic, really. But, yeah, you got the two characters there who eventually, I'm sure, get possessed, as far as I'm aware, and they end up sort of exhaling this gas and sort of suffocating someone in an episode, I don't know which episode, but yeah, it does seem a bit like a random image to open with, but to have on the inside, but I think it's quite nice, actually. Particularly, I think the cartoon sort of comic booky style really looks nice on these two characters as well. So that is my review of the most recently released Doctor Who Fury from the Deep Steelbook. I believe this will be out generally from Monday, but I've seen some people saying they're not getting it till the 22nd, so you might want to check depending on who you've ordered this from. I know I got my Faceless One Steelbook from Amazon and it took forever to arrive. I don't even know why, but it took forever, and that's just sometimes the way it works. But yeah, it's nice to have another animation. I'm interested to see what comes next. I've heard rumours. I don't know if I label it as an official announcement because it was just put in a tabloid. I mean, to be fair, some tabloids do get these things right, but there has been no yet official announcement of the next ones. But the ones that are rumoured are The Abominable Snowmen and Evil of the Daleks, and I'm happy that these stories are getting animated, but I know that this year there was somewhat of an excuse to have 3 Patrick Troughton stories, but I'm kind of a bit sad that William Hartnell is kind of getting neglected in terms of animations, because there are still loads of great stories. I mean, if you think about it, the Faceless Ones in this is both both six-parters, so you could theoretically release the Daleks Master Plan and have that be the only release of a year, and I'm sure that would sell incredibly well. The disc contents would be, I mean, if you had black and white contents for each disc, that would take up at least 4 discs if you did 6 episodes on each disc, and that would not include the special features disc, so it would end up being like a 5-disc set if they do similar things. So yeah, it would be a pretty weighty set, but still, I'm sure a lot of people would buy it. I'm sure it would probably be a lot more expensive as well. But yeah, they could do sort of a budget thing, like they could have Master Plan Volume 1, Master Plan Volume 2, and then release the whole thing. I don't know. That might work, I suppose. I know a lot of people have been... I know that the Doctor Who Guide has said that when the collection Blu-ray sets, because the 60 seasons so much longer, you could have Part 1 and Part 2. I don't know how likely it is, but I think it is probably a possibility. So yeah, that's my review of the Fury from the Deep. I'm looking forward to actually watching this because I've heard a lot of good things about it. It sounds like a very iconic story. I love the Second Doctor and Jamie, they're iconic, and of course Deborah Watling is amazing too. Basically all the Second Doctor companions are amazing. I really do love the Second Doctor. But yeah, so I will be getting that review done soon, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Yes, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, why not consider subscribing down below to the official Ruby and Espresso YouTube channel.